Et de retour normalement, je crois. Du coup c'était à 43,5. Pas à 43 piles. Regarde bien, oui, oui, c'est bon. Ça a l'air d'être bon. Quelle connerie, mais quelle connerie. Hein. Comment est-ce que vous avez fait pour faire la navette entre l'île et le continent?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, you lot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
Collabo.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just...
Pourriez vous y installer, non?
I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs. Men without ideals are only animals.
He does not want to see life moving on. People forgetting, drinking, laughing.
La cache d'armes sous 22B Saint-Ghislaine. Vous êtes allé au sous-sol?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Belmer graves, right?
Ouais,
Useless now. Rusted away.
tout à fait.
So you've been there.
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those graves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
Il y a un petit bunker sous le bâtiment de Feld. Vous y avez séjourné?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Ils sont suicidés?
A lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
Sinon, est-ce que vous fumez des Tumutiri?
I do.
Ça vous est déjà arrivé d'en fumer une sur le continent?
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century.
Oh, merci Antonistan, bien le bonsoir. Les géodevineurs. Alors ça, c'est totalement différent par contre. Hein.
The old man looks
Là, je ne
across
sais
the
pas où on
water
est. Hein.
at the city.
Salut,
The
sécateur.
ruins, the motorways rising above it.
Vous avez dit que vous capituliez sans condition.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in
Ah, tout de
Revachol.
suite, les grands mots. Je suis la police. Ce jeu, c'est Disco Elysium. Un RPG. C'est RPG? Un jeu magnifique. L'écriture, mais... J'en ai fait hein, des jeux sur cette chaîne, mais alors celui-là, niveau écriture, il est là-haut. Excellent. Là, c'est la partie beaucoup plus sérieuse, donc il y a moins de choix un peu random bizarre. Mais franchement, niveau chose totalement random à dire, ce jeu-là, il est très très bon. Bien sûr. Nous ne sommes pas au service de la coalition, nous nous efforçons d'aider les citoyens. Qu'est-ce que je peux dire? Malgré les apparences, j'ai bien l'intention de transformer la MCR en unité révolutionnaire masochiste.
Rock and roll posturing. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti communiste insolente. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the
Plus besoin
black
de l'emmener lui, hein,
charcoal
il va
in the
clamser
fireplace.
ici.
René, the royalist on the coast, said,
Vous n'avez jamais signé l'acte de reddition de Revachol.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Et d'ailleurs, hein, si vous voulez jouer à ce jeu, ne regardez plus le stream. Hein. Là, on est à la fin. Donc je vous recommande vivement d'acheter le jeu ou de le trouver autrement et d'y jouer, mais ne regardez plus. Hein. C'est vraiment de la bonne qualité.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
He just wipes the blood from his chin.
C'est une question d'honneur.
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class.
Donc vous êtes un soldat communiste, de l'armée communiste.
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
Et vous avez dit que vous aviez été formé par le corps de défense et affecté aux missions de protection.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
Seconde, quel est le rôle d'un commissaire politique?
The old man does not answer. He tilts
Quel
his
connard.
silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
Ah, je pensais à un tremblement au niveau des roseaux. Le phasmidé.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the commune.
Attendez, c'est du fascisme, ça?
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a night philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
On n'appelle pas ça un inquisiteur?
He was like a cleric, a shepherd.
Vous étiez une sorte de prêtre.
No, the opposite of that. A future human, not a human of the past.
J'en conclus que vous avez été formé au communisme, c'est ça?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
Je suis aussi communiste.
No, you're not. You're a liberast.
Qui me retient? Moi, je vais défoncer sa mère.
You should engage him about inframaterialism. Impress him with all the ideas you picked up from the reading group.
J'ai bossé, hein.
No, don't. This man does not subscribe to intellectual daydreams. The communism he mourns is a planetary force.
Libéraste.
A liberal and a pederast. It's what most liberals are.
Pas libéral, je suis communiste.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He
Why?
does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body.
J'ai encore une question sérieuse à vous poser.
There's nothing serious in this world.
His gaze follows
C'est à
your
moi.
motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with
J'examine
tape and wire.
plus en détail.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made
Il est
of
vieux, ce
walnut.
truc.
They say Triangong 4.46, Sin Yao Commune, for Safre and for all mankind.
Je parle le Cérès, moi.
This is the Vulgate Seraïs. You can barely intuit the words. No is stretching it.
Kim, je parle le Cérès.
What does it say?
Pour Safré, pour l'humanité tout entière.
That's what the little guys told us. Every day at 4 o'clock in the morning, they go on and on about their Safri, their mankind, and Mazov. Those men were commandos. They weren't shit on a stick like us. They were small and...
J'examine la crosse.
On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burned into the wood. Triangong 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
C'est bien le modèle indiqué, un triangong fabriqué à Signao.
Worn. Personalized even. Looks like this weapon has seen a lot of use, hasn't it, sir?
No response from the old man. The plastic cape around his shoulders rustles in a small
Tire des balles
bout
chemisées
of
de
wind.
4,46 mm.
Jacketed. Military grade ammunition. Stable in flight. Good for hitting something that's very, very far away.
As he speaks, he stresses every word. He's liking this.
Je range l'arme.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession in time.
Vous êtes servi de cette arme à quelle occasion?
I've used it for killing people.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
Oh là là!
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. Okay. Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you.
Ne m'insulte pas, K4. Hein. Je ne suis pas un moraliste. Quand même. Putain, c'est ouf ça. Je partage la nourriture et on me traite de moraliste ensuite. C'est dingue. Est-ce que vous êtes servi de cette arme pour abattre un colonel de l'entreprise de sécurité Quelle?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part.
Je sais pas parler
Right
sirèse,
choice.
K4, j'en
We're
suis sûr.
in. Do it, sire.
Alors, il souhaite simplement entendre dire à nouveau pour l'effet dramatique. Excellente initiative. Le fasciste appartenant à un escadron de la mort qui s'est pris une balle dans la bouche la nuit du 4.
Oh yes, that one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
Nous avons fait une analyse balistique. Le tir provient de cette île.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You have been here a long time, Mr. Droz. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part.
Facho, vous avez dit. Vous avouez donc que c'est vous qui l'avez tué.
You're sad for your fascia brother, aren't you? One twig got broken. Now the others are sad.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
Peu importe que vous collaboriez ou non, j'ai ceci.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons, eh? Going against automatic rifles with a flame bomb.
C'est moi ça.
Of course you got all those boys killed.
Oh, si j'avais réussi.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Soit, arrêtez de changer de sujet. Nous avons l'arme du crime.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Pensez que c'est l'arme du crime?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
Je l'affirme, nous avons l'arme du crime.
Good.
Le lieutenant sort son calepin et y trace un unique trait.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
Like a marionette on some invisible string. This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
Quel est le détail qui m'échappe?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
C'est vrai que je n'ai pas fait d'autopsie sur le cadavre, hein. Je l'ai même pas regardé. Mais bon, hein, on a fait du bluff. Ah mais oui!
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here, and Maybells on Clausia's balcony. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now, they're gonna come up.
Reçu 5 sur 5. Merci, ma douce et tendre caboche, c'est bien urbain.
You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul.
Bobot, vous pouvez me dire de quelle marque il s'agit?
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa. Some shit.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Dross.
Fucking imbecile.
Ouais.
The maker is called Sansarique. You see their V-shaped logo, but can't make out the size. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned souls you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the soul.
Attendez une seconde, il a peut-être une explication toute simple.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Les gens changent de chaussures. Ça ne veut pas dire que vous n'étiez pas sur les lieux à fureter à proximité de la chambre de la victime.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance. You've almost got him. Just a last little push.
Bon, je vous lâche la grappe. Dites-moi plutôt.
You're lost, Dwat. You're lost.
Joseph Lilianovich Dross, vous êtes en état d'arrestation pour le meurtre du colonel Quelle à Martinez. Bougez pas, hein. Sang-froid, mais...
I ain't going.
D'où j'ai du sang-froid, moi? Impossible. K4, est-ce que ça se finit vite à partir de là? Ou je fais ça encore la semaine pro? Là, il est déjà 23 h. Je sais pas combien de temps ça va durer encore. C'est ça le problème. C'est grand max 45. Oh putain. 5 c'est beaucoup, hein. Ouais, je vais m'en tenir là alors, je pense. J'ai même pas de sang. Ah si. Ça. Il reste qu'une scène. Bon, alors on va se dépêcher. Je vais essayer d'avoir ce truc de sang-froid. Tout. Dis donc, il n'y a pas grand-chose. Hein. Il n'y a pas grand-chose. Allez, on réfléchit.
Millions of capital.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild.
Mais vous avez l'air en forme.
Indeed. He speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Stimulé par quoi?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, Thought processes cut off like threads as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. Great leaps of emotion, from anger to grief, despair.
Une forme de démence.
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile.
Peut-être de mauvais poil à force de vivre dans ces conditions.
Perhaps, but his seems more than that. The inner turmoil takes unexpected turns, as if forced on him in a way. In summary, you sense some underlying neurological
Monsieur Droz,
disorder.
est-ce que vous sentez bien et votre mémoire?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again, erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too.
My name, I am
The
Bla bla bla, on l'a déjà
I
vu
left
ça.
my foot. I was an
de nouveau
resurrection
ici.
until they turned it into a spa in 18.
Ouais, un niveau voice acting, ça a
Then I was
changé.
an
là.
E48. There's nothing serious. Petty.
A drop of blood tear into him
Putain, j'ai
again,
rien de plus.
pile it on him.
J'ai plus de preuves. Qu'est-ce qu'il me faut de plus?
You lost what?
J'ai pas envie de
lost.
l'arrêter si j'ai pas toutes les preuves. Merde. Qu'est-ce qui me manque, Kim?
Yes?
Tu sers à quoi? Il y a une preuve quelque part qui se cache là? Non? Chier. Je vais être obligé de l'arrêter comme ça sans preuve. Il était à ça de craquer mais j'ai plus rien. Attends, j'ai tout fait. C'est nul. Bon. On n'a pas le choix. Hein. Je reviens et en fait je vous arrête.
Is what you plan to say. Before you can get past, you're under the loop.
Officer, are we sure? We could maybe get more.
Encore une chose alors.
You've startled
Mais
him.
y a quoi?
Maybe
J'ai plus rien.
Petty.
a drop of tear into him.
You lost my name. I am
The community.
from I.
Y a un blabla que j'ai loupé
I was
peut-être
an
là-dedans.
resurrection until they turned it into
À
a
propos du fait
spa.
qu'il soit malade.
18. It's not an island. The congenital death
C'est
blow.
peut-être ça.
You Iblis.
He nods.
J'ai fait quoi? J'ai fait... Merde, je sais plus. Bon, je vais tout refaire.
43.
He nods. But he,
What have you?
Bien sûr,
Hiding.
bien
two
sûr.
police patrol the officer.
Always.
Je pense
First.
que c'est la mauvaise
Girl
audience
child.
pour ça. Hein.
Or the material is.
What
Oui,
has he done?
blablabla.
Yes.
There is no. I was just well done.
Qui?
It's not an island. Mm-hmm.
Hein.
How does it supply?
How is
Là,
your
je dis qu'il est
dear
malade.
CM?
I need to die.
Non,
You
il s'en
don't
fout,
have-
hein.
I have been.
He looks at you, his face parched from
C'est-à-dire
the
que je peux pas
sun
lui donner...
and the wind. There's a wince of pain in there somewhere.
Ah,
There's n-
alors il faut que je l'ai dans mes mains. Je vais pas lui filer du speed. Borscht peut-être? Non mais j'ai rien.
minions of capital. What? My name.
Ah.
I am
The community.
from. I left. For I was an resurrection until they turned it. It was hard and
They were
we and at night
in the city.
from bunker
Je
to
sens qu'il y avait
bunker.
rien. Hein.
The old man looks across the water at
You're with the RCM. You're the. Take me.
a spray of Rene, the royalist on the...
What? No.
Bon bah je pense qu'on a un de plus. Hein.
He nods slowly.
There's
Ouais,
nothing
bon, bah, tant pis.
serious in this world.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable movements and mood swings he's been exhibiting.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Il a peur.
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
Il observe les roseaux, le regard pétrifié.
He is a brave man. Why is he unraveling? He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Une seconde.
There it is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it,
Le phasmidé?
something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Chut, Kim, vous avez entendu?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this really us?
Your skin crawls.
Rien de caché là.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence.
C'est quoi ça?
What are you talking about?
Guillaume porte son regard sur les roseaux puis sur vous. Le phasme géant?
There's nothing there.
Le regard est confus.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head.
Et jamais il serait entré dans le piège, lui.
You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
Et je le vois?
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Vous le voyez?
I can see it.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Ça indique le lieutenant dans un murmure. Il fait un pas dans la direction de l'arthropode géant.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. The segmented antennae move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch.
Double pulvérisation de phéromones. J'écoute attentivement.
Be afraid. You smell wrong.
Je me rapproche précautionneusement.
Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. Like laughter, a sort of happiness. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's hissing and clicking. It extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Harry, je ne sais pas vraiment qui je suis.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Je me hisse sur la pointe des pieds pour le regarder de plus près.
You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish.
Il bave.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
Le lieutenant vous observe avec appréhension.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais au juste?
I exist.
Rêvé? Qu'est-ce qui se passe au juste?
No, you're awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Qui es-tu au juste?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmodia, endemic to the Insulandian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys.
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical characteristics that help it maintain its camouflage.
No one unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and officials of the occupation. Even the Seminese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me.
And the 4,000-year-old Ceresolithic civilization buried so deep in the sediment that you do not even know it is there.
I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions. 3, if you count stone tools. Until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizens' militia in Revershaw, district of Martinez, March 51.
Moi aussi j'existe.
Tell me what it's like for you.
Wunderbar. Si je te le dis, qu'est-ce qui va se passer?
Then I will tell you what it's like for me.
Malade.
What is your illness?
Je suis cinglé. Voilà à quoi ressemble ma maladie. Ah, j'ai le cœur malade.
For me, it is not like that. I have states, not emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards. But that is not important. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist.
Les assauts de quoi?
Shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations. A swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms. All speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul. And if I did, it would never ache.
Qu'est-ce qui m'arrive, bordel?
I don't know. You're just a shadow for me. Far away, faintly transmitting. But for a curious smell.
Je suis heureux d'être qui je suis, un instrument hautement sensible.
Few of us can begin to imagine the horror of you. With all of creation reflected in your forebrain. It must be like the highest of hells, a kaleidoscope of fire and writhing glass. Eternal damnation, even when you're sleeping. And when you wake, you carry it around on your neck, with eyes open that cannot help but swallow more behind the mirror. I feel great, mute empathy for you.
C'est déroutant au départ, mais je me démerde.
That must be incredibly hard. The Arthropods are in silent and meaningless awe of you. Know that we're watching. When you're tired, when the vision spins out of control, the insects will be looking on. rooting for you. And when you fall, we will come to raise you up. Bud from you, banner-like, blossom from you and carry you apart in a sky funeral, in honor of your passing. But not me, because I'm just a leaf eater.
In honor of your will, Lieutenant Euphrator, that you kept from falling apart in the face of sheer terror, day after day, second by second. Detective,
C'est moi.
arriving.
Détective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
Programmé pour détecter toi.
Yes. No one detected me for such a long time. For thousands of years. I dithered, out of sight.
Ouais, c'est bizarre ça, il
Trapped
m'en fait quelque
myself
chose.
in
Hein.
greenery.
Et mon magnum opus.
No one believed I exist. Almost no one. Until you came, detective. Dripping of blood that smells like strawberries. Across the calm sea. The first in 1,000 years.
Comment je fais moi pour avoir détective arrive sur la scène? Fallait que je fasse d'autres dialogues avant? Quelle est l'origine de tout ça, du monde environnant?
Not even the birds know that. Not even the water lily.
Dans ce cas, il ne reste plus qu'à cogner la tête contre le monde jour après jour, sans jamais obtenir de réponse.
You can also
Ah, j'avais
eat.
loupé les jets.
If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Yum yum. Or read.
Ah ok, j'en ai réussi 2, mais pas la reste. Détective entre. Est-ce que tu es venimeux?
Yes. I do not have a starter display. So I use a neurodegenerative element to aid in camouflage. Do not worry. It is only destructive over long periods of time.
Bon. Il existe une civilisation céracéolithique ancienne?
Yes, with stone tools and silk, they too missed me. Although I had not developed the mutation needed for parthenogenesis yet, and scoured the Neolithic hinterland as distinct individuals, not clones.
C'est fou.
No, you are.
Oh!
The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively median life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile simian nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
Seconde, l'intangible est une invention humaine?
It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality.
What?
A great, unnatural territory. Its advent coincides with the arrival of the human mind.
Ce genre de pouvoir?
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing. Just by accident.
Comment?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
Instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Bien supérieur?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nerve mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if he misplaces us all one day, or just forget?
Je vais faire tout mon possible pour ne pas cligner des yeux, mon cher Phasme, t'en fais pas. Attends, est-ce que j'ai déjà eu ce genre de réflexion dans la tête?
No, you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
Bon, ok, je vais faire mon possible alors.
Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sigh, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, est-ce que je suis en train de faire une crise d'épilepsie violente?
It doesn't look like that, no.
Qu'est-ce qui m'arrive alors?
You're just staring at it.
Dans ce cas, j'ai une sorte de vision à propos de la fin de l'humanité.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
Non, je vous ai expliqué de quoi il s'agit. C'est à propos de la destinée humaine. Notre affaire n'a aucun intérêt en comparaison de ça. Je suis parvenu à transcender.
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
Il est temps de se dire au revoir, je n'ai plus d'autres réflexions, c'est tout.
No, there is one more.
C'est la créature la plus belle que j'ai jamais rencontrée.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Do it.
Pour le
For the
prolétariat.
working class.
Je ferai ça.
She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
On fait tous des erreurs de jeunesse, hein. Il est en train de me sentir.
Maybe it is real, the pheromone.
Le lieutenant est bouche bée.
The insect's head is crowned with reed-like scales, the shape of seed heads. They rustle as the air moves. The ventricles at its abdomen continue expanding, like breathing you in, your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze.
Je lève les mains doucement.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion. Suddenly, there is silence. No. Stop. Be afraid.
Je lève aussi l'autre main.
As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own, praying to you.
Ah! Bien, il faut prier.
Unwittingly, the insect continues its stridulations. As it moves, tuft-like structures still pretending to be plants rustle along on its joints. Perhaps it is preparing to eat its god.
Allez-y, Kim, prends la photo.
Okay.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant, hypnotized by the flash. It stands frozen before you.
Magnifique. Je vais prendre ça. Je vais le mettre là.
I got it.
Répond le lieutenant à voix basse. Les contours de la créature apparaissent sur le papier photo. Un fantôme polychromatique aux stries blanches entre les roseaux et le ciel. On distingue également votre silhouette au premier plan.
For all time.
Tendant lentement le bras pour toucher la moustache de la créature.
The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. On contact, the chitin curls into a spiral, like the tip of a poison ivy. Its touch on your fingertip feels cold. Tick, looks like someone's got hurt in a fight. This antennae is much smaller than the other one.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
Je caresse gentiment son avant-bras en forme de faux.
The limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. It's much lighter than a reed. You feel a soft push could tip the creature over. Its hollow exoskeleton collapsing.
Je fais remonter ma main le long de la patte effilée.
A small shudder passes the creature's arm. High above you, its black pearl eyes still glisten, mesmerized by the light passing its nervous system.
Allez, c'est bon.
Another shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
Allez, c'est tout, je me
As you're
casse.
turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Salut mon pote. C'était cool. Oh là là. Pas vu du tout. Balèze.
And Just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
Le lieutenant observe le nord, la main au-dessus du sourcil. Marcher sur l'eau?
Apparently, yes. Like a water strider. Only... I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a dans les roseaux?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
Et maintenant?
What now?
Le vieil homme répète soudainement les paroles que vous venez de prononcer. Il a la main noire de charbon après l'avoir plongé dans les cendres.
In some kind of strange, semi-catatonic
Qu'est-ce qu'il
state.
fait, ce con?
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Guignol. Casque Fairweather T500. Lunettes de fusil. Ça. Passeport de Clasier. Ça fait longtemps qu'on le cherchait, celui-là.
This passport, issued by the Sovereign Republic of Oranje, is issued to a black-haired woman called Katarzyna Alazie.
Classia's hidden documents. From the MT boy.
J'inspecte la photo.
It's Klasia, with short black hair and glasses. She looks boyish. An old photo, before life came and did what it does.
S'afficher dans un nid de phasmidés.
Maybe our man, Mr. Dross, took it from Classia's, or whatever her name was. Hiding place, or...
C'est le phasmidé qu'il a pris, je l'ai senti faire. J'ai vu quelque chose ouvrir la bouée avec ses longues pattes.
Like a magpie? What a coincidence. Then it would also have collected the other objects, which would be highly unusual.
By now, the lieutenant has accepted your unusual methods.
I can see how the helmet could wash up on the island. And the scope. Maybe Mr. Dross lost it. But to seek this out would be very unusual behavior for an arthropod.
Would it? Maybe it was simply curious. A curious octopus would do something similar. Or even a cuttlefish.
Il est peut-être curieux, comme une pieuvre.
An octopus belongs to a very different class. It's not even an insect, it's a mollusk. But yes, I see your point.
Il est écrit Katarzyna Alazie.
She said it would be for Anouk Meyer-Smith. Anouk Meyer-Smith.
I told you she kept lying to you. She's probably lying to someone else right now. In another city.
Katarzyna était censée être son véritable nom, elle nous a menti.
Yes, somehow she managed to lie to us. One more time. In a way, she's still lying to us right now.
Quel est son véritable nom dans ce cas?
I don't know. But it's not Katarzyna Alazie, or Clasia, or Anouk Meyer-Smith. We didn't even scratch the surface with her, detective.
Bordel. Hé! Pourquoi il y a marqué Harry là? Il a dit détective.
Perhaps it's better that we didn't arrest her. Who knows what hell she'd be raising in my district by now.
Allez, on repose. Son district. Qu'est-ce que tu fous, toi, glandu? Non, Charles.
What is it? What do you want from me? I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Vous ne pouvez pas ne pas voir le phasmidé, monsieur.
See.
Les roseaux sont prononcés un mot.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets, with fear and longing.
J'agite la main devant ses yeux.
A light shiver passes him, followed by nothing.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dross?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
Qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé?
Old age and shock.
C'est le phasmidé.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke? Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
Toxique, pas de doute là-dessus, le phasmidé me l'a confirmé.
Told you? Yes, good. During your long staring match, I understand.
Quand je l'ai examiné, il était plutôt lucide.
He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse.
Peut-être que cette lucidité était induite par le phasmidé.
It does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall.
Ne le voyez pas, Kim. Pour lui, il n'y avait que des roseaux.
That could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here.
No response.
Peut-être que le phasmidé a réussi à se cacher durant toutes ces années grâce à ce mécanisme.
Then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it.
Oui, on oublie sa présence.
Mr. Dross, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Ça fait longtemps qu'il vit sur cette île, et peut-être qu'il côtoie l'insecte depuis un bon moment déjà.
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him, like he didn't want to leave this place, and the insect maybe. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it.
Nous devons récupérer des choses dans le nid du phasmidé, monsieur Dross.
He stares into the reeds.
Regardez
The
le
words
casque en
don't
céramique.
stir. Nothing. Just dull staring. The last embers have gone out.
Et le
The
passeport?
war, no reaction. His breathing is slow, and this is an old man at last.
Did you take this passport and other papers from a boy on the coast?
The spirit.
He hears us. The spirit?
No reply.
Try something else?
Et
got
la
him back
lunette
for a
détachée?
I lost.
Vous l'avez perdu, monsieur Dross?
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there. With the help of a magpie phasmid?
Le lieutenant observe les verres qui scintillent dans votre main.
This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh. You've gotten all you will out of this poor
Je vais
being.
vous laisser reposer, monsieur Dross.
The plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind.
Allez, tenez bon.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Bon, et bah, y va, hein.
Yes?
Ouais. Et le petit chemin en arrière, et puis voilà. Une petite découverte pour l'homme, et puis une grande pour moi, bien sûr, parce que j'ai transcendé le monde. Faire le tour, c'est vrai. Oh là 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 là. Finalement, j'ai même pas pu discuter communisme avec lui, là. Il s'est effondré dès que je lui ai dit vous êtes en état d'arrestation. Quel bébé. Allez, on rentre, hein.
The skiff is
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet, but for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you.
Dolores Day.
2 men and a woman stand on the concrete square of a nameless village.
Ah, les
looking
branleurs
at
là
a
qui viennent
small
juste me
yellow
faire
boat
chier.
as it draws closer. The sea is calm. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Ouais, alors 2 secondes.
Hardcore aesthetic.
C'est moi ça.
Oh yes, drugs. We're talking about drugs. Let's face it, these flirtations with the hardcore aesthetic have all been leading up to one question. Can I do drugs harder now that I'm a hard cop? And the answer is yes. You can. You can do one more blast of pyrrolidon and yellow shit powder. You can even pull a ciggy and a lager on top of that. There, you've truly made the hardcore your own thing now.
Eh ben. Super. Bon. Ils sont où là? Guignol.
Look what the tide brought him.
Dit l'homme sans lunettes de soleil. Soudain, son expression change et il incline la tête.
Harry, you're bleeding all over the place. You're half dead.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen.
Vous êtes qui, vous?
Hello, Trent Heilerstam. I believe we've met on several occasions.
Oui, en effet.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean Vicomar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heidelstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi, Precinct 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Merci, lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
Répondait chaleureusement en gratifiant le lieutenant d'un minuscule sourire.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
Ça ne semble être dérangé par tout sang.
Bothered by it. Harry, you look like you need a fucking organ transplant. Oh, fuck it. Let's not get into that.
Oubliez tout ça, il y a un...
We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you.
C'est quoi ce bordel?
Harry, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiotic. You should never address her using those words again.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need to manage your expectations a little. I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical level. In fact, I should probably get going.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit kid. What an interesting moniker.
Vous n'êtes pas l'homme aux lunettes de soleil, vous n'êtes même pas blond.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Si vous ne vous étiez pas montré aussi sarcastique, j'aurais compris que je vous connaissais.
I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to butter you up after you told us to fuck off.
J'aime pas qu'on me mente.
I didn't lie to you. No one lies to you. You were so fucked up on booze you couldn't recognize your own partner.
Comment vous m'avez retrouvé?
The cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
Cette histoire avec Sylvie, il ose me trahir.
Shit, kid. He didn't betray you. He just told us the direction you went in. Who's Sylvie?
J'ai arrangé un coup pour Hogarth avec cette Sylvie et j'ai sauvé son établissement.
Strange. He didn't mention that. In fact, the establishment didn't look saved at all. There was a giant aerograffito in front of the building. It was on fire.
Ouais, c'est moi qui ai foutu le feu, c'est un geste poétique.
I knew it. Didn't I tell you, Trant? I told you it was our shit, kid.
The line is from Lou Giatun's Mirova 82, isn't it? About girl-child communism, the titular returning character to ghost the apparition of... Good choice, Harry.
He is correct. It was the Seraillese poet, Lou.
Don't encourage him, Trant.
Okay.
Clown de service, Kesako.
You, shit kid, that...
Despite all that you've done, the deserter, the phasmid, the case...
Malgré tout ce que j'ai fait.
No, because of all that you've done.
Vous là, désolé de ne pas vous avoir reconnu avant.
It's okay. I didn't come here to gloat or to fool you. Neither did he, actually. We're just worried.
That's right, worried. I'm always worried about you. Every time you don't show up to work, or when you do but stink. You're a worry fest. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you. Even Special Consultant Backpedal is worried about you. Everyone worries. Instead of working.
Trent Heilesman est en réalité consultant spécial Trent Heilesman.
Yes, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I never said I wasn't Trent Heilerstam.
Mais qu'est-ce qui s'est passé avec le gosse?
Michael? Michael's my son.
Ah ouais? Si on revenait plutôt à cette histoire intéressante, vous m'espionniez?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikhail wanted to see Martinez.
Him being there with his son, it was not a coincidence. It's difficult to see, but he was worried about you. And also interested in the Feld building.
Vous êtes venu faire quoi ici, monsieur le consultant spécial?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s, like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
He's here to see if you're insane. He is smart. Let's move on.
Je me suis encore fait berner, tout le monde ment sur sa véritable identité.
Duped? Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
Jardinière, le chef des Roufions, ça... Dites-moi au moins que vous êtes bien qui vous prétendez être.
Yes, I'm still Kim Kisuragi, still a lieutenant from Precinct 57.
Bon, alors ça va.
Still caught up in this crossfire, too.
Vous avez parlé d'un groupe tactique?
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Rafraîchissez-moi la mémoire, qui d'autre appartient à cette unité?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Tron fucking Heidelstown, and Guillaume Baby.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're
C'est
part
qui
of the shit
ce
show.
Guillaume Bévy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Très bien, et à quoi sert l'unité?
Do? It's a major crimes unit. We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
Oh.
They're your posse, or what remains of it. Hand-picked, hand-lost.
The 41st isn't...
Merci. Je peux savoir où vous étiez pendant tout ce temps?
Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember.
Ah, ok.
You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All will burn. Detect or die.
Et pourquoi vous avez pas fait ça alors, à enquêter ou crever?
Oh, you think it was cool you saying that? Aesthetic somehow? You were crying when we got here. Breaking things. You said we were going into the abyss. None of us wanted to see the abyss. So we fucked off. Like you told us to.
Non, rien du tout.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in.
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, power, and so on.
As displayed in your interactions with him here and previously at the bar, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you?
Ma pauvreté m'a fait perdre la mémoire?
Not when you phrase it like that. But I don't think critical theory... I know everyone thinks this is far-fetched pink academia, but still.
What? He lost his memory because of capitalism?
No, not like that. I'm not talking Vrede for school here. But Harry, I asked you, what do you think happened?
Peut-être lié à l'anomalie de l'église, ce trou de 2 mm dans le monde.
Corresponding to the 20 cm hole in your brain. Sure. This theory has great symmetry. I see how it folds into itself neatly.
Precisely, Satellite Officer Vicmere. It's Martinez.
Vous devrez prendre au sérieux, je soupçonne que quelque chose de louche se trame à Martinez.
This sounds odd, but I was there. The church on the coast was shaking from an audio-spatial anomaly. It may have been anthroponetic or perhaps related to radio waves. Either way, it was real. I've even put it in my report. You should read it. I do not, however, think it has anything to do with him drinking himself to the point of brain damage.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. Just to clarify, I do not think his other anthroponetics are a hoax. Pale produces global phenomena. It's proven. However, what has not been proven is total memory loss after drinking too much Komodo Red. Honestly, I think he's just lying to her.
But Detective Wigmer, he has blanked out before.
Vraiment?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so...
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect? Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it, hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a crétin now? I want to know that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Tout à fait prêt à reprendre mon poste de chef de l'unité.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the body? Or do we need to get him on a disability pension?
They can keep that pension. You're rock solid. You can put your clothes on hard.
Et quoi maintenant?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Vraiment?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
Elle a été volée par Jacob. J'ai conduit tout droit dans l'océan quand j'étais ivre. L'heure de Tequila Sunset était venue.
Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho. Tequila sunset. Not sunrise because you're almost dead. So funny, Harry. Thank you for fucking me. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're gonna get fired. And I'm gonna pay till I die. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
Un signe?
The thing that tells people you're a police officer.
Ouais, voilà, elle est là.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
J'essaie de l'attraper. Oh merde. Oups.
You juggle the badge for a second, unsuccessfully, and it lands on the ground, some 2 meters away. Ouch! You strained your elbow trying to catch that stupid thing. Damn it.
He has it. He has it, Jean. It's his badge.
And your gun?
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not achievements.
Mon arme. Mon arme. Pas si vite. Comment vous avez su que j'ai perdu mon arme?
You lost your fucking gun? I knew it. I knew he lost it. Didn't I tell you? I told you he lost his gun too.
You may have accidentally admitted to losing it
Ouais.
just now.
Excellent.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad.
I would say it's very bad, yes. You lost your service weapon while drunk, and then you couldn't find it because you were still drunk? You're drunk right now, aren't you?
Vous en fichez que j'ai retrouvé mon arme?
You were never supposed to lose it in the first place. Not lost is your gun's natural state, you drunk bum.
Et quoi, j'ai juste bu un petit verre. Non mais je l'ai là.
We're not talking about the fucking gun anymore. We're talking about the vaporized cloud of ethanol coming from your mouth.
This is so unfair. He knows you have the gun, and still he's punishing you.
J'ai juste bu un petit verre.
A little drink? You smell like a corpse. I'm downwind and I can barely breathe. You let a suspect escape, Harry. Glacier something. Because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the reports. Lieutenant Kitsuragis. We know.
C'était une espionne du Pôle Nord, spécialement entraînée.
Ah, well, if she was specially trained. I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect. The one who shot herself. Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now. Doing I don't know what for him. That's small-time stuff. That's nothing. That's a humorous anecdote. Compared to the 7 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
Rien foutu, toi.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired unvetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Et vous étiez où, bande de bâtards?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the lost gun, also losing his badge, that's all true. And he's been drinking on the job.
The man sighs deep.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar law official. At first I thought it was a joke, but now I'm not so sure. He says disco about 20 times a day. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist. He's even gotten involved in a highly theoretical underground reading group, which, again, for a police officer, is unusual.
Et alors?
You should yell something.
Je suis un flic de l'État à venir.
The RCM consists of policemen of the state that is, so a little discrepancy there. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the constant smoking everywhere, all the time. But despite all this, he is a great detective.
J'ai fumé une
One of
fois.
the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything. And he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which, by the way, I have to disagree with you, Mr. Vicmar, was a valiant effort. He really sang his heart out.
Okay, he did something.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his
Tiens-le bien,
hand.
Kim.
You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Comme vous pouvez le voir, je suis pas si nul que ça, je suis un putain de gros communiste.
Fucking hell. Is this somehow connected to the case?
Il m'ignore, l'enfoiré.
Detective?
Et bim. Oui, je crois que ces phéromones sont à l'origine de la dégradation mentale du tueur.
The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes. It really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
J'ai aussi monté une discothèque dans l'église. Hein.
What was that? It
Ah,
sounded
j'ai-
like you set up a nightclub in the church.
J'ai rendu service à des gosses, je leur ai changé la vie.
4 kids were living in a tent on the ice. They were going to drown when it melted. It's not optimal, but the building was abandoned, so he put them in there. It's okay.
It's not that okay. Get off this subject now.
D'ailleurs, le phasmidé était une femelle, elle utilise les roseaux pour faire son nid.
Female? What makes you think so?
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female, and the nesting behavior too, I think.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
Je crois qu'il se reproduit par partogénèse.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
Oh, l'insecte me l'a dit.
Interesting. Then it is especially vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the entire species. We're probably talking conservation efforts here.
L'insecte avait rassemblé des objets dans son nid, un casque, une lunette, un passeport.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
Bowers are built by males of the species who can't afford colorful mating displays physically. This one was plain colored.
Je pense qu'il s'agissait d'une femelle.
Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing. I didn't see it. It must be robust if it can move a whole helmet with its limbs.
Je crois qu'il émet un produit chimique qui le rend encore plus semblable au roseau.
Yes. That would be a pheromone. A pheromone that's seemingly beneficial to the host. It usually stimulates the affected nervous system. Not a human's, of course, but perhaps a predator's?
L'assassin semblait intoxiqué comme un toxicomane. C'est une intuition, mais...
There are species of bees that, under the influence of pheromones, take wasp larvae to their hives. Ants do the same with aphids, thinking they're... Do you think this is how it stayed hidden?
Nothing is off the table. But I want to stress this. The find does not have to be connected to the case. The case is 100% prosecutable, without...
Of course, Lieutenant. Of course. We should treat the case and the phasmid as completely separate from each other. People are not going...
They're not going to go for this speculation in the constabulary.
La créature avait des mandibules qui ressemblaient à des poils et était complètement blanche à l'intérieur.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even discovers the Insulindian phasmid. No, that's too much.
This would really help with some of the problems we've been having.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest.
Without it...
You're doing good here. Perhaps only for a moment, but still.
On a découvert le mobile du meurtrier, Lilianovich Dross.
Lilianovich. A
Un
revolutionary
matronyme révolutionnaire.
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms, Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mothers. This man's mother was Lilian, his Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
Il est tué dans un excès de rage provoqué par les substances sémiochimiques du phasmidé.
Possibly induced. But even without that, this man spent 50 years on the islands in the bay, in solitude, loathing what Revachol has become. Also, we have a sniper's nest with full view of the room in which the mercenary died, right on the island, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that. Way more.
C'est bien plus que ça, c'est un mécanisme de pliage parfait, comme le phasmidé. Ah, donc c'est Dora, le nom de notre ex.
Perfect folding mechanism. Get over yourself, Harry. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. It is bad. Even you can smell it. Chin up. Keep focusing on the positives here.
J'ai réglé le problème de la grève.
How? It seems to be ongoing. I see red banners on the gates.
He didn't quite solve it. He cross-pollinated information between the company rep and Evrard, until the rep came to see that the Union desires war, at which point Mrs. Messier decided to...
What? Hand clear the terminal?
J'ai fait pour la révolution mondiale. Vrrr, viva la révolution!
Cool. To me, it sounds like you got played by Everclear.
It's not quite like that. The move allowed us to stabilize things here. It was not bad for Martinez.
Okay.
Il y avait aussi un homme mort sur la promenade, une personne disparue que j'ai retrouvée.
Yes, yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
Comment vous savez que je l'ai retrouvé?
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, detective.
J'ai aussi enquêté sur le mystère de la zone commerciale maudite.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is.
En réalité, la malédiction était certainement androphonétique et elle s'inscrivait dans le cadre de mon enquête dans Martinez elle-même.
No, it didn't. It didn't turn out to be anthropometical again. Enough with the solary pale 2mm hole in the world line. This isn't Paradox B. We're a police force.
Paradox B is a fringe science magazine published in Grad. Its mission is to explain theories like telekinesis and intra-esoleri power before they get out of hand. It doesn't look like the lieutenant wishes you to push this angle. Cut it out is indeed what he is thinking.
J'ai confisqué de la drogue au daron de Kuno.
Who's Kuno?
You don't want to know.
You're right, Lieutenant. I don't. You snorted the drugs, I know you
Même pas
did.
vrai.
It's alright.
Même
I
pas vrai.
mean, at this point, anything is but the drink.
Des conneries. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous en dites? Vous allez reprendre ce cas d'or?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder. So I have to. Jude?
Honestly, anything that ends this trial is okay with me.
But he's been drinking, she thinks. This is exactly how he gets out of this every time. It's bad for him, but...
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
Okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
Attendez, j'ai quelques questions à vous poser avant qu'on s'en aille. Je voudrais savoir qui je suis.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Qui suis-je?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
Quoi?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore, but...
Mais avant.
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coran. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
Un guerrier héros, prof de sport?
No, a regular one.
Vraiment pas, j'étais un chanteur de rock'n'roll.
You haven't told us about that. You just told us about being a gym teacher.
Ça explique pas mal de choses.
Harry, it explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
Collection de vêtements de sport fan que j'ai récupéré.
The fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is. And your moves on the church floor, which honestly were just jump aerobics.
Also, this guy. Just
Contact
everything
Mike.
about
Of course. Contact Mike.
He's been on about Mike again. I hate that guy.
Contact Mike est une reprise de l'un des principes du sport basique plus inspirant de la compétition libre. Un outsider à 5000 contre 1.
Oh, you don't say. Does he also vault an impassable gulf of finance and privilege?
It is getting cold out.
Comment ça? Quand est-ce que j'ai été prof de sport?
In your 20s or late 20s? You've really let yourself go since then.
Prof de sport à la couronne?
Yes, you taught gym in Quel. I believe that's the term. Taught gym at a high school. You were a high school gym teacher.
the smell of sweat and glue. Kuro is just east of Jamroad. It was a short walk every morning.
High school. Harry, your goings-on with Kuno, Andre, Acel, the whole thing on the ice. That's why you are so juvie.
His smirk suggests barely contained laughter.
Foiré. Pourquoi j'ai décidé de rejoindre les rangs de la MCR?
The regular. You found some chick. She inspired you to fight the big fight. Be more than you are. All that.
You, every morning, walking from Voyager Road to teach gym. She, leaving for the academy with her spring coat on.
Ok, je comprends.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that.
Pourquoi est-ce
He's
que
an
je suis comme ça?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too. Really maximized the
Est-ce
damage.
qu'elle s'appelait Dora?
Yeah. Dora England, I think.
Not Dora Dubois.
Bon, Dora Ingerland? Elle était même pas mariée?
No one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
C'était quand?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it? What the hell is wrong with you?
6 ans?
Yeah, or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora Ingerland really tore you a new one.
Qui était-elle?
Big, incredibly bangable.
Ça ne me surprend pas.
Extremely fuckable, Harry. Gorgeous. A gorgeous bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin. Pain Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Look, the sun is about to go down. It's time to go.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough
Bon,
about this.
est-ce que je suis un flic véreux qui travaille pour la puta madre?
No.
Non, parce qu'un suspect semblait penser que...
You're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
Phew!
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
I told you it's not that bad.
Quel genre de poste est le 41?
Us? We're the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? We're the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You are just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
Get back to it. We left Torson and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not
Sur les
good.
McLean.
Mac the Torso Torson and Chester McLean. They're not fit to run a wing. Believe me. Things are shaky as it is.
They are damn iconic though, Torson and McLean.
S'agit-il d'un duo légendaire?
Yeah, not like us. Two clinically depressed old men. Where's the contrast here? We are garbage.
Et l'LC...
God. There are 4 wings, Harry. A, B, C, and D. We're in C. It's made of losers and clock punchers. You and I reconceptualized it as a task force.
There's also a lot of outside help involved, not only me. Other losers too.
He's anything but a loser, although he would like to be seen as one. It's cooler that way.
Et Price est...
Ptolemy Price? He's the son of the old Price, one of the founders of the RCM.
He's one of the most highly regarded men in the force.
Somewhere under the curved roof of a former silk factory, shaped like a ladybird with 2 chimneys, Police Captain Ptolemy Price sits behind a heavy wooden desk. They speak of change, the city, the tension on the streets. They speak of the events of April and the blood on the streets in
Est-ce que
May.
par hasard, on n'aurait pas récemment mitraillé une église?
So he remembers that. Yes, there may have been a raid on some churches. It wasn't good press.
Shooting up churches never is. I was out of town, to be clear.
Qu'est-ce passé? Pourquoi a-t-on dû intervenir?
Our enemies were hiding in a church, to the best of our information. That's it. I'm not talking about this anymore. Your security clearance is shit tier right now. You have to wait for it to go up.
Donc je travaille au poste des homicides sanglants?
Okay, it's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershore. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
Le Phasmidé, il faut tout de suite que j'aille en parler à Lena.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock. Remember?
Merci, encyclopédie. Une cryptozoologue, elle vit à Jamrock sur Tabernacle Road. C'est elle qui m'a parlé de ce Phasmidé.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine, if we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
She is going to be over the moon. Watch out or she'll faint.
Qu'allez-vous faire à présent, lieutenant Kitsuragi?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
Et à quel sujet?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Vous voulez pas faire ça au poste 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering.
Non, je veux dire enquêter, venez travailler au poste 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. Am crazy enough. Can take the stress. He doesn't know how to finish the sentence. This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the hub.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains, even.
I do like the sound of that.
Il lui rend son sourire.
He's really considering it.
Eh bah allez, c'est recruté. Allez, on y va.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Tron brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the evening sky, the great district turns on its lights. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls inside. Fire traps as far as the eye can see, from Main Street to Precinct 41 atop the motorway, to Boogie Street forking into the dark horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potomny Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the people. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
Allez, on y va, mon pote. Bah oui, encore heureux que je vienne, hein. Ouais, c'est vrai que je suis malade. Allez, rentrons. Du coup, on peut pas parler avec Kim. Sur le banc. Ça se fait après, on y revient. Ah bah non. C'est fini. Ça a pris plus que 45 minutes. Hein. Je vais être claqué demain. Ouh, quel plaisir. Quel plaisir. Excellent. Bravo à tout ça, hein, bien sûr. Sauf au chef d'entreprise qui a foutu la merde, je crois. Dommage. J'aurais bien aimé plus de jeux là-dessus, mais bon. Voilà. Que voulez-vous, hein, quand le capitalisme arrive là-dessus et qu'il y a un mauvais management. Tant pis. Parce que moi, je me demande quelle occasion, du coup, je peux parler à Kim après la fin de l'enquête. Enfin bon. Je referai bien sûr ce jeu moi-même avec différents choix. Rien que pour avoir tous les succès déjà. Et excellent. Un autre à dire, écriture parfaite, musique. J'ai pas pu avoir toutes les musiques parce qu'il y a un switch, enfin une option qu'on met pour désactiver les musiques pas libres de droit. Donc quand je rejouerai et que je pourrais mettre ça, j'aurai peut-être de nouvelles sensations. Super bien écrit, super bien pensé, super scénario. Voilà quoi, hein, c'est une leçon. Très belle leçon. Bon, ça donne envie de faire des jeux tout aussi magnifiques. Et je suis bien content qu'on m'ait forcé la main pour jouer à ce jeu, parce que quand j'avais vu, je m'étais bloqué sur les graphismes, je me suis dit, c'est bizarre cette esthétique. En fait, ça passe totalement au second plan face à cette écriture, ces personnages. Caviar. Un autre à dire. Hein. Super. Super, super. Voilà. Ça a pris longtemps, ça a pris pas mal d'épisodes. Ça a pris je sais pas combien de coupures de box à la con. Et c'est fini. Ah là là. On a pris du temps, hein. Mais bon, il n'est pas fini quasiment à 100%, mais j'ai fait quasiment toutes les quêtes. Et normalement, je devrais avoir mon succès de résoudre l'enquête sans toucher au cadavre. Hein. Non, parce que c'est bien pour ça que je l'ai fait, du coup. Enfin, que je l'ai pas fait, plutôt. Et je vérifie. En est-il des succès? Bah alors. Mais une minute. J'ai eu ou je l'ai pas eu? Non. Non. Bah non, je l'ai pas eu. Faut que je finisse le jeu peut-être. Ah, il y a peut-être un post-game ensuite. Ça doit être ça. Je pense que ce sera ça. Parce que là, j'ai résolu l'affaire sans inspecter le cadavre pourtant. Hein. Ah, je ne peux rien faire, ok. On est forcé de voir cela. Oh. Donc je suis pas mal claqué là. Hein. Mais bon, on a le temps, hein, on n'est plus à ça près. Ouah, la vache. Ça aura mis du temps. Hein. Le passage en barque pour aller sur l'île. Super. Super, la musique. J'aurais bien aimé réussir le karaoké, mais bon, apparemment, même si on loupe, Kim, il est quand même content. Il lui dit quand même bravo. Bon, si ça, c'est pas génial, hein, franchement. Oh, mais non, mais on va voir vraiment toutes les traductions, là. Monsieur Anonyme. Waouh. Oui, la version ratée est très bien ratée, du coup, en effet. Hein. Oh, voilà, c'est encore un super jeu de fait. Et donc, il y aura de nouveau ce sentiment de... Ça y est, j'ai fini Disco Elysium, j'ai fini un super bon jeu. Je fais quoi maintenant? Il va y avoir une sensation de vide. Surtout que XXX Night Shift, qui est l'un des projets spirituels, enfin, qui reprend plus ou moins la formule avec certaines personnes de l'ancien studio, il va pas sortir tout de suite, quoi. Il a à peine été annoncé. Merde. Merdasse, quoi. Obligé d'attendre longtemps. Je vais regarder ça tout de suite. 66 Night Shift. Release date. Il n'y en a même pas, hein. Ouais. To be announced. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Je crois qu'il y en a un autre. Mais j'ai plus le nom. Parce que de tous les gens qui ont fait ce jeu, c'est séparé en je sais pas combien. 5 projets. Ah bon. Merci K4. Ouais, on a de quoi faire, hein. On a de quoi manger. Mais il va falloir être patient. Heureusement, je peux encore refaire ce jeu plein de fois, le temps d'avoir tous les succès. Et genre faire le jeu en mode hardcore pour voir ce que ça change. Il n'y a que 17,9% des joueurs qui ont recruté le lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. J'ose même pas imaginer si on joue le raciste connard avec Kim, comment il réagit quand on lui dit oh, venez bosser avec nous. Hein. Ça doit être une réaction virulente. Bon, c'est un peu long quand même, hein. Prépare mes affaires pour demain, faites pas gaffe. Oh là là. Il n'y a vraiment rien pour speeder ou passer, ça me termine, hein. Alors oui, je comprends, il faut dire bravo à tous les gens qui ont bossé dessus, mais putain, on n'a pas que ça à foutre aussi. Il est minuit 25, moi j'ai envie d'aller dormir. Fatigué. Je vais aller aux toilettes en attendant. Ah, ça y est. Ouais, c'est un beau message, ça, ouais. C'est ce qui s'est passé ensuite. Bon. Ah bah putain, tout ça pour ça. Bon bah, fin du live, hein. Moi, je vais vous laisser, je suis claqué. Voilà, c'était cool. Merci, bonne soirée. Transition. Transition.